Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the United Front. I'm joined today by top red and top man in general, JKT. How we doing, bro? You good?
All good. Yeah, all good. Looking forward to this one. A bit dead with the international break for the next 2 weeks now, but is what it is.
Bruv, I actually can't do it with these international breaks, bro. So dead, bruv. Like, they've got to find a way around this, surely. You know, do you remember like what Wenger proposed a few years back, where it was like no international breaks during the year, but because of that, the season ends like a month early, and then
Yeah.
then they just go into a month of international, all of the internationals in that 1 month, and then
That would be so much better.
their break afterwards. It would make so much sense. They actually
Yeah.
like at first hearing it, I was like, what? But then when you actually looked at the timeline, the players get more of a break, and the international teams get more of a chance to actually be together. So it's a no-brainer. But for some
Exactly.
reason, never happened. And yeah, we got to deal with these dead international breaks. But yeah, man, United obviously going into the international break in a relatively decent position is one of the things I wanted to actually talk about today. Are we actually good yet? There's loads of things we obviously want to talk about. Also want to talk about the Casemiro conundrum. Is it a problem? Like, it seems to be a lot of reliance on him. I think United have conceded 20 goals this season. 15 of them have been whilst Casemiro has been off the pitch. Only 5 whilst he's been on the pitch. So yeah, we'll talk about the Casemiro issue. And yeah, just general look at our season so far. You know where we are after this. You know at this November international break, we're 11 games in. How we looking? How we feeling about the season? But there's only obviously one place to start, and that's Saturday afternoon's early kickoff against Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ended in a 2-2. To be honest, I wasn't too happy or upset about the game. I think it was a very like could have been better, could have been worse. I'm kind of happy that obviously we got a draw, especially when you look at the last 5 games and you take it into account all of our results and you kind of look at them as a group: Liverpool, Brighton, Sunderland, and Tottenham. And to get 3 wins and 2 draws, I think overall is generally is very good. I would have absolutely broken your hand off for that if you would have told me that at the start of the last international break. But obviously, considering the game itself, which I'm going to try to stick to, we're 1-0 up, looked comfortable. Then I think we kind of not collapsed, but maybe just died down a little bit in the second half, tried to defend our lead. I could guarantee we're going to concede because we always do. And then obviously we concede again, whilst we have 10 men as well. Sesko's gone off, and we're able to go and get the draw. So it's kind of like at one point in the game, you're feeling like, I'll be upset if we lose this. And then at one point in the game, you're feeling like, I'll be so happy if we can get a point. How are you feeling about the game, JKT? How do you feel about Tottenham?
Sorry, it froze just then.
No, that's all right. Go on.
I think it's all back now. It's all back. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I feel like it was 2 points dropped more than I think the week before. I felt like it was a decent point game gained against Forest, but this one 1-0 up. Spurs were there, I think, for the taking. Really, I think we got to be getting 3 points there. But it just felt like after the way they came out in the second half, we were just a bit flat. Like we were just waiting for the final whistle. We were kind of just going through the motions, I felt. Yeah, more disappointed in this draw than the Forest draw, I feel like. But again, positives, like you said, showing the resilience to come back and get that equaliser. Yeah, it's an annoying one. There's the last few games, there's signs of improvement and then also signs of still things from the past that are haunting us.
Yeah, I think like one of the things obviously that we're going to discuss is a Casemiro issue. And I think it has to be brought up now when we're talking about squad depth. Generally, it looks like United just kind of change like too much when we make our substitutions, especially when we take Casemiro off. Obviously, it was around the 70th where Casemiro started to look tired and looked, leggy, really. He did look like he needed a break. And like, obviously, we take him off. And again, it seems like we just drop a level too low. And it's happened most of the times, I think, this season. There's been some quite alarming stats about Man United not being able to basically hold on to their leads. We go in leading at halftime. We don't really end up winning the game unless we're at home, to be honest. But also our away form just generally isn't that great. There's also like a positive way to look at it, you know, try and be a little bit positive. But, you know, one thing I was hearing, which I kind of agree with, is when you look at the 2 games, Forest and Tottenham away, Forest had a new manager. They're in the relegation zone, desperate for a win at home. You know what them home games are like. When your team's down and, you know, when you're behind in a home game, they're going to egg you on. The atmosphere will turn. And I think, like, we still managed to not lose that game. And then Tottenham, again, they've been getting booed all season for their bad performances at home. You know, they were going to be up for it. They needed to be up for it. They were going to put us under pressure, try and get some, you know what I mean? And they looked like it was more of the same for them from that first half. It looked like we did well to kind of, you know, control that first half, I think. But then that second half, again, we just kind of let it go a little bit. But the positive thing is we didn't lose either game. We got points in both of the games. And we're in a pretty good position right now. But yeah, just sticking on the squad depth situation, bro, I can't see Ugarte coming on anymore. I'm tired of it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but just, bro, every week, fam, I see this guy, bro. It just my blood boils. Like, but the thing is, there's nobody else. There's actually nobody else that's filling that Casemiro role. There's nobody. I can't lie. Ineos, that's one big mistake I think they've made with Ugarte. I think that's gonna have to be gonna go down in the books as a mistake. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. What do you think? Like, do you think there's an issue there with the squad depth?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, particularly like you're saying, this Casemiro, the midfield role. The centre backs, I think we're pretty fine. We can kind of make a few changes there, and I don't think the standard drops too much. Up top, the front three are, again, there's a few different versions you could play, and it's still similar. But yeah, that midfield, as soon as you take Casemiro out, yeah, Ugarte's just not. He's just not the one. I thought when we signed him, he was going to be this ball winning machine that we needed. Just win it and just give it back. But he's now starting to not even be the ball winner that I thought he would be, and he's getting skipped past quite easily a lot of the times. And then on the ball, he's a lot worse than I thought he actually was. When we signed him at the time, I thought he was quite tidy, could keep it, not be the best on it, but good enough. But he just seems so far off it when Casemiro comes off and he comes on, the level, it just drops massively. And then the Brighton game, he tried it with Kobbie Mainoo coming on for Casemiro, which usually isn't the sub he does. I know he's only done it once, but he brought Kobbie Mainoo on and had him and Bruno in the midfield, and then we go and concede 2. So he's kind of he's tried a few of them now, and neither of them seem to be. I know Mainoo's only 1 game, and he should get more chances, but yeah, Ugarte definitely is. Yeah, that is one of their mistakes, Ineos, in the transfer market.
You know what? I want to get your opinion, actually. Just sticking on that for a second. Mainoo. I want to talk about him because, like, listen, I'm the CEO of the Mainoo fan club. I love Mainoo. Yeah. I absolutely love Kobbie Mainoo. Obviously, he hasn't really been getting a run of games. He has been coming on quite consistently in the last 20, 15 minutes of a game. What's going on there? Because, like, even when he's been coming on recently, he hasn't been looking like he deserves to play for longer, if that makes sense. And I love him.
Yeah.
But, like, is it just me seeing now? What do you think about Kobbie Mainoo's performances, like, this season generally?
I think that the Brighton game, I did think he weren't great when he came on. I think all the subs, I think him and Zertsky came on at similar times. Neither of them had a positive impact. Dorgu was quite bad as well. But yeah, Mainoo, Brighton, not so great. I know he got, there's a lot of talk after City. He brought him on at City and he looked good, but City knew the game was won. They were 3-0 up at that point. Like, sometimes it's easy to have an impact when your team's 3-0 down. I'd still not quite sure why. I know it was a different manager, but if you remember back to his debut against Everton, he played as the number 6. in that pivot and looked good, obviously, in his debut. So I still don't know why he can't. That was only 2 years ago now. So I would like to see, if you're not going to bring him in ahead of Bruno, I would like to see him tried out. I know I just said that he weren't great when he came on for Casemiro against Brighton, but that was just one 15, 20-minute cameo. I would like to see more of him in the holding midfield role, see if he can do that. If you're not going to give him a chance ahead of Bruno, let's see him coming on for Casemiro a few more times.
I mean, he surely can't be much worse than Ugarte, innit?
Yeah, is that the one thing? He might not win the ball as much, but if we are winning, like the Tottenham game, you want someone to get on the ball and keep it. Mainu's the guy for that. Mainu will get on the ball, keep it. So,
I mean, the one thing I'll maybe push back on you a little bit on that is the legs situation. Like, I think Bruno and Mainu both do want to get forward. If you have them both as a midfield pivot, that would be a bit scary for me. And also, you got to look at the sense that, like, the one thing, as much as I love Mainu, the one thing he hasn't really got is legs. Like, he's not an athletic ball, you know, he's not like a ground eater. Like you said, he's great on the ball. He's fantastic, you know, in the, you know, if you try to press him and, you know, progressing the ball forward and all of that, keeping the ball. But it's that the one thing he hasn't really got is his legs. And Bruno does have legs, which is why he's able to play in that role, because he can get forward and then run back. But he's always running back into a space Casemiro is always occupying. Now, I don't think I think you do lose a lot of Kobe's ability if you put him in that space where he's just sat there defending. Because in that midfield role, like Casemiro, what he does, he just sits there. He doesn't move. He doesn't go forward unless it's from a, you know, free kick or set piece. But otherwise, he stays back, defends, and really doesn't move much. I do think you lose a lot of Kobe in that situation. And also, he doesn't really have a great switch on him. That's another thing. Yeah. He's not great with the long, big diags. And Casemiro is actually quite good at that. And he's good at turning, defensive to attack pretty quickly. Casemiro's got a surprisingly actually really good on the ball. Like, it's almost it's pleasantly surprised me. He's not just a destroyer; he actually is very good on the ball as well. And I think that's why Amorim wants him to be in that position. And look, I think Kobe, I think he'll be the long-term successor to that Bruno role. I think Bruno probably will go in the summer. And I think
I can see that.
I think Kobe's able, you know, steps into that role and he's able to be that kind of midfield conductor and have a little bit more freedom to get forward and, you know, pick passes, pick gaps in the defense. I think that's his best attribute, really. But yeah, hopefully he gets more opportunities, like you said, whether it be in the Casemiro or in the Bruno position. It's hard to see where they come from because Bruno plays every game and Casemiro is looking like he's playing every game, and you know they're not necessarily the type of player. But anyway,
do you reckon? Do you reckon with AFCON? Do you reckon then you see more if potentially Bruno moves up to Mbeumo's role, and then Mainu, Casemiro? Do you reckon we'll see a bit more of that in that month?
You know what? I don't actually think so. Yeah, I don't think he'll change the team that much. I think with AFCON, I think what he'll play, I think he'll play Mount, Cunha, and Sesko as a front three. You know, injuries permitting if Sesko stays fit or whatever, and then he'll play Bruno and Casemiro still in that midfield, and then on the right you'll be looking at
Dalot,
maybe Dorgu on the other flank, or Mazraoui maybe even. But yeah, I don't think that would change that much. I really don't think it will change that much. And also AFCON, I don't think, like, it's only like 3 games, maybe less, in which they're going to be gone for. So I think we'll be all right. You know, I'm actually going to the AFCON as well. I might even do a little UtdFront AFCON special whilst I'm out there. I'm heading to Morocco.
Me a couple fans.
That's it. I'm going to support Sudan. Big up the boys, man. But before we move on, let's just get into the comments quickly. So we got Big Ams in the chat saying, oh, sorry. think he's hiding it from me. No, I love Mainu, but I can't lie. He has not done anywhere near enough when he's had a chance. Yep. Unfortunately, I do agree with that. Branica says Bruno and Mainu midfield equals gaps everywhere. I kind of agree to that. Big Ams again says, to be honest, I think Bruno's gone at the end of the season anyway, so maybe they could bring in Anderson to partner Mainu. That's something I can see happening for the long term at Man United midfield. Yeah, I really do see that happening. But yeah, cool. Let's move on a little bit. So we got a draw against Tottenham, and you know, we didn't play amazing, but we still got the draw. Got a draw against Forest, and we're now currently 8th. Now, this is a question I want to ask. Have our standards starting to creep up? Are we starting to get a little bit better? Because if we would have won that game, that would have put us in level on points with Chelsea in 4th. So Chelsea are 3rd now. So we've been level on 3rd, above Sunderland in 4th if we would have won that game at Tottenham, right? And I just think like we're unbeaten in 5, right? We're actually looking pretty decent. Maybe not consistent throughout games, but we're sustaining. I think we're starting to become consistent in what you can expect from us in terms of the result. We're not going to give up easily. We're going to fight back into a game. We can score a goal. We've scored first in a lot of games now this season, so we're starting to learn, not to just be reactive to games. Are we actually starting to improve? Because I feel like the fans are starting to kind of get their old standards back. We should be beating Tottenham. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. And if we would have beaten Tottenham, yeah, we should be beating Forest, man. That's a disappointing result. I'm seeing that a lot. And I'm like, yo, if we would have beaten Forest and beaten Tottenham, that would have been 5 on the spin and we would have been like 2nd, bro. Like, that's really like, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, bro, beginning of the season, I was sounding crazy for saying we should be 5th. And a team that finishes 5th, they do, they win a couple, then they'll draw a couple, then they might lose one, then they might win a couple, then they might lose another one, then they might draw one. Do you know what I mean? It's inconsistent. It's not just non-stop winning. Otherwise, you win the league. That's what winning the league is, when you just win every game. So, like, are we actually improving?
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that, especially from the start of the season. It feels like it's been such a quick turnaround, considering 5 games ago was that the Brentford game or something, or 6 games ago, where it was still a disaster. It seems like a pretty quick turnaround, but I do think we are improving. Like you said, we're getting the consistency which we didn't have last season. This is kind of what, like you said, this is kind of what sort of team we are at this moment. A team that will win 3 in a row, then we're going lose 1, then we win 2, draw 1, win 3. That's just the sort of thing I think we're going to be this season, and that is an improvement from where we've been. And with the way other teams are playing, those, you could probably say the last 2, 4th and 5th, are both up for grabs, really, because the teams in and around it that you'd expect to be in and around it, they're all inconsistent. So if we can just show some consistency, manage to get points off those teams in and around us when we do play them, then we can definitely go for that top 5 finish. And I know at the beginning of the season, a lot of United fans would have settled for top 8, some maybe even top half with how bad it was. Yeah. So this is definitely improvement, and it looks like we're on the right tracks for some consistency, and then just go again in summer and we'll see where we are next season.
Yeah, I can't lie. Obviously, I'm buzzing. Like, when I made that prediction at the beginning of the season, when I was saying, yeah, I think United could get 5th this season, man were looking at me like I was possessed. They were like, what is wrong with this guy? Yeah. So many people were like, bro, why do you think that? What makes you think that? But to be fair, I just thought, like I said, it sounded crazy then, but now when I say it, it looks a lot more possible. I think the signings we made were actually so good. Like Brian and Bumo, I thought that was going to be such a smart signing, considering he's just like, listen, this is going to look bad, isn't it? It's going to sound bad when I say this, but just hear me out in it. He's like a, Mohamed Salah light. He's not that, you know, obviously not as good as Mohamed Salah. I'm not saying that he's a Mohamed Salah light. I'm saying like in the sense of like he's so efficient. He knows what to do every time. I feel like he gets the ball. He gets the ball and he makes the right decision. He'll either shoot when it's right or pass when it's right or run with it when it's right. Generally, he makes the right decision and the right choice all the time. He's scoring goals, like assists. He looks like an unbelievable signing. Like, I don't know about you, but I watch him and I think like, this guy does not look out of place in the Man United shirt at all. It's been 11 matches in the Premier League and he scored 5 and assisted 1. So 6 goal involvements in 11 games for Man United. And it looks like he looks like a fish in water. He's completely suits the Old Trafford atmosphere, even the celebration. They're like, I love it. The way he does, it's just so like his confidence, his character, is what you want to see at Old Trafford. Like, I feel like signings like that, signing like Cunha, even though maybe the goals and assists haven't come yet, they will come. The performances have been proper. Even on Saturday, giving the ball to Ahmad for then Ahmad to cross it into Mbeumo and Mbeumo to get the goal. He's part of it. He's involved in play that ends up leading to goals. And we've seen the skill. We've seen his performance at Anfield. He's a good player. Casemiro looks like a man reborn this season. Bruno Fernandes, I think he's been putting in sometimes some of the games have been quite bad, I'm not going to lie. But in the games that, like for example, that assist at Anfield, he's been doing the stuff that Bruno always does. The banging assist, the nice goal here and there. He's missed a couple penalties, but, you know, like I said, if he would have scored them, it would have been even higher, bro. Like, so I think, I think, and I also, Amram, I thought Amram will finally get it. It would finally click with Amram and he'd start to actually move forward. And it looks like that's what's happening, you know? So, bro, yeah, I think we are good again. I think we're starting to improve. And I do think this top 5 finish, stick my neck up, but I think we could do it. I really think we could get a top 5 finish. I genuinely think Man United can make it back into the Champions League next season.
To be fair, yeah. At the start of the season, I definitely wasn't saying that, but now how it's panned out, looking at other teams in and around us that you would expect, even Liverpool having a drop off. Like, I would have thought top 3 would be guaranteed. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, in whatever order. I still think Liverpool will come back and get back into that, but you don't know. If this form continues for them, that's another spot that's there for the taking for someone. Like,
I think I heard Liverpool have lost 7 of the last 10 Premier League games. You know that?
Yeah, like, from
that's
champions
nuts.
to that, that's crazy.
That's insane, bro. They lost. What was it, 4 in a row? Amram didn't even do that. Bro, that stinks, you know. And they're champions, and that's a record amount of money that a championship team has ever spent to defend their title, bro. And they're out here still just looking like this. Florian Wirtz, fam, have some shame. Genuinely, have some shame, bro. Hang your head in shame. Go look yourself in the mirror, up and down, and have a word with yourself, because this is shocking. I watched the game on the weekend against City, bro. This guy was getting pushed off the ball by everyone. Phil Foden, everyone was telling him to move, bro. The guy was like, brother, hit the gym, fam. Don't let man do you like that, bro. That was
they were poor. The mainstream media have finally started to just question him. I see Gary Neville's little Sunday podcast he always does at the end of the game. He's finally started to call him out. A few
do you hear what even said, Gary Neville?
What's that, sorry?
Did you hear what Gary Neville said? He goes, we were tiptoeing around it, but Florian Wirtz, we need to have a word about it. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are we tiptoeing about it? What's going on?
I don't know. Crazy. Tiptoeing around Wirtz, but I don't know. 11 games. It took 11 games for him to finally say, this guy ain't great. You could have done this a few weeks ago.
Not 1 goal involvement in 11 games. 115 million pounds, bro. That's shocking.
That's bad.
If Man United, bro, like I said, if Man United had done this, and this is why I feel the need to highlight it. I don't actually care about Wirtz or Liverpool, but I feel the need to highlight it because if Man United would have signed anybody for that price, God, even if he would have come in and scored 20 goals by this point in the season, there would have been specials on him every week about how he's still somehow a flop, how Man United are treacherous to the world, how, we've committed a crime by spending so much money on a player. Man will start talking about FFP, the environment and shit. Bro, trust me.
It would have been bad,
it would have been so bad. And yeah, I just want to, like I said, want to highlight this. And you know what it is? Florian Wirtz is getting all this stick because Alexander Isak ain't even playing. My man's on the bench, 130 million pounds on the bench. He costs even more than Wirtz. Man ain't even on. 3-0 down City, I can't even put you on. What is going on there? Honest to God, what is going on in Liverpool? And long may it continue, man. Jeez. But yeah, Man United, where like little mid-season, not even mid-season, quarter of the season through, yeah, we're currently what, 7th? We are about one game. I'm not gonna lie, it's about 3 or 4 points between 3rd all the way down to maybe like 10th, 11th. The Premier League is tight this season. It looks like it might even last like this. Like it might carry on like this for a while. I do expect teams like Sunderland to, they're having an amazing season, but I do expect them to kind of, come down a little bit, maybe into, even if they stay in the top 10, I expect them to come down to 9th.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Newcastle have been shocking.
Oh, yeah, right? I forgot about them.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
But Newcastle have been shocking. Like, just, yeah. These are obviously, reason I'm just calling these out, because like I said, it's good to look at your kind of rivals, isn't it? And see what's going on. But
yeah,
we're in a pretty good
fully
position.
Slipped away.
Yeah, go on.
They fully just disappeared this season, Newcastle.
They're 14th.
They lost again, didn't they, on the weekend? I'm sure.
Yeah, they lost again. And you know what? They're actually they're good 3 points off 12 as well. Like,
not you.
No, they're 3 points off 13th. Sorry, so they're 4 points off 12. Brentford in 12th. So like, they're not even close. Like,
yeah, that's because I rate their striker that they got. He started the season well. He does look good, but yeah, I really don't know what's happened there for Newcastle. But again, that's another one. Like, we would have expected them to be up there. Like, we've always struggled going to St. James's Park, just getting bullied by their team. That midfield is so physical.
And even this season, they look good against Liverpool. They look good against Arsenal, but they just seem to, I don't know, turn up for the big games. But even in those games, they lost them. And 14th. Like, bro, they've lost 5 games this season. Liverpool have lost the same amount. They've also lost 5. They're 8th, obviously. They're tight. They're on level on goal difference with us. Tottenham obviously level on points with us. Tottenham, Villa, United, Liverpool, and Bournemouth are all on the same amount of points after 11 games played. And that's from 5th to 9th are all level on points. And then Sunderland have 1 more point in 4th. Like, I think right now it's all about just staying in and around that group, that bunch.
Yeah, just stay touching distance. You just can't let them slip. As soon as that happens, that's when it starts. And that was, like last season, we just let it slip too early and we could just never get it back. And then it's just snowballing effect and you're just going further and further back. But as long as we just stay in touch, and then you got to just make sure you don't lose points to those teams in and around you when you play them, we'll be all right, I think.
Yeah, all these teams obviously are going to play each other as well. That's the thing. Like, all these teams are going to play each other. We've actually got a pretty decent run of games coming up. Like, I know we've played quite a lot of games now. Obviously, looking at those 11 games and being like, oh yeah, we're on, we're on the same amount of points as, so on and so forth. It sounds like kind of the jury's still out. But considering in those 11 games you've played Spurs, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool away, that's almost half the games that we've played against top 6 opposition, which is crazy. And then, you got now our run of games. We've got Everton, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Villa, Newcastle, and then play Wolves again. And I think like we can actually pick up a good little. We can actually get a good little run of points there if we could pick up a good little run of wins, because we've done well to pick up the amount of wins that we picked up as of yet. And like I said, they're all like half of them have been top 6 opposition. We haven't got another top 6. We play another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games until we play another top 6 opposition. So, like I said, if we can get some good wins, get a little run on us, I think we can start to maybe, separate ourselves from that group a little bit in a positive way. Yeah, and we've got some good home games coming up. Everton at home.
Yeah.
We should be winning that. That's our next one. Palace away. Again, that's a tough game, but I think United can, maybe shouldn't. Maybe even if we lose that game, West Ham at home, we should be winning. Wolves away, we should be winning. Bournemouth at home, we should be winning. Like, these are games that on paper, Man United should always be winning. And I think, based on what we've seen so far, we could do it.
And that December, January, like the Christmas into New Year run, where there's games so like back to back, if you can get a good momentum in that period as well, where you end up playing so many games in a tight period, and you come out of it with, if you can come out of it with positive, you've picked up so many points from that, that can set you up that in March, whatever, when maybe you got a few injuries going to the end of the season and you lose a few, because you've had that December, January period where you picked up points, you're still ahead of teams that you're now dropping points to. I remember Ten Hag's first season. We started the season badly. Obviously, got the big win against Liverpool. But our December period, that sort of November, I know there was the World Cup in between, but before the World Cup, and then when we came back from the World Cup, we had that good run where we were just consistently winning up until the League Cup final. And then we kind of slipped off a bit after that Barca game. And
after the League Cup final, really, I feel like we just stopped playing completely. We gave up that season after that.
Yeah, exactly. But then we still, because we were on that, picked up that good run of form, we still ended up finishing third after almost throwing it away. But we had enough points in the bank that we still managed to just about stay in top 3. So that's going to be another, with the games that you just said coming up, that's a chance now to just pick up as many wins and start separating yourself from that pack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you're right. Getting a nice little run of games, especially in that Christmas period, could really put us ahead of the rest of everybody else. Especially considering that a lot of them are going to play each other in these rounds. Every single week in the Premier League, there's a big game where 2 teams that are right next to each other play each other.
Yeah.
So slowly but surely, a lot of these teams will start dropping points as they play tougher games, and we get a little bit of an easier run. Like, for example, Chelsea haven't really played that many tough games yet this season. I think United, even obturated it. We had the hardest, I think, 5 or 10 fixtures in the Premier League. So I think as of where we are now, like I said, in touching distance of third, obviously could go the other way as well. But we look like, I think we're in a decent position. We're playing decent football, even when we're not playing amazing. We're still getting points out of games, which is a sign of a good team as well. I think the manager's starting to finally click, and I think the players are starting to understand each other a little bit more as well. We've got an international break now. I think that'll be good for everybody as well. I think it's come at a good time. And yeah, I think we could come back and really go on a nice little run. But to be honest, that's probably a good place to leave it. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following us on all of our socials. Everything's in the description. So get on there and have a look if you aren't already. JKT, I'm sure will be back with me as well as Ernest on Thursday on our live stream then. And I think Zayn will also be back then. But keep it locked on our socials. I'll definitely be posting stuff maybe tomorrow on our Insta. I like to do my little dog walk talk. I'll be hitting Talk of the Devils live as well tomorrow in London. So, stick onto the Insta. I'll be putting up some stuff on the story on there. But yeah, thank you for joining us, guys. And we'll see you pretty soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.